Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Random Acts of. As I said in last week's episode, this week I said I was going to be at PhotoPlus Expo. I am at PhotoPlus Expo. And actually, I'm stealing this for a second. Over here is John Romer. John was on the commercial shoot I worked on. He has DP'd for me on projects. All around great guy, still photographer, filmmaker, video guy. We're all living the dream here. That's what we're doing. All right, so I'm here working for Zeiss, and the reason I am working for them is they have an ambassador, Topher Delancey, who has been doing these photo walks. People have been showing up. They can check out pretty much any Zeiss lens they want. He takes them out into the wilds of New York City and talks to them about how he approaches photography, a lot of natural light. They have a professional model, and then my job was to lug this sucker around for the whole day and shoot BTS stuff of him doing these walks. And the thing that's really exciting about it is I got to use this right here. Only 2 of them in the country right now. They're not shipping yet. This is the 21 to 100 lightweight zoom, and this thing is a beast. I absolutely love it. Cut beautifully with Otis. It'll cut with their higher end cinema primes. It's designed for super 35 millimeter sensors. It's not a full frame zoom like some of their compact zooms or all of their compact zooms. But this range 21 to 100 is very, very usable. It's a T2.9 to 3.9 in terms of this range. So obviously on the long end of the lens it's going to be a 3.9, but it has a variable ramping feature in terms of the aperture, so you can use any part of that focal range at any point and treat it either as a variable prime or you can actually zoom in your shots. I used it yesterday. It was beautiful. I mean, it was really amazing. If we can couple this with the variable ND filter feature that's on a camera like the FS5 and hopefully in the future on other cameras from Sony, then that'll be awesome as well. Really nice long throw in terms of changing focus and absolutely minimal breathing when you are on the wide end and basically no breathing at all once you start to get into the normal range of the lens at around 35 millimeters and above. This rig, this is an E-mount version, but you can change the mounts. This is the Metabones adapter. Really should probably have a little lens support on this, but the lens is very, very lightweight at about 4 pounds. And shooting on the FS7, but it would be just as comfortable an EF mount on a C300 Mark II or another camera system. And by the way, just to clear up any confusion, because there has been some, Swittronics, which makes a lot of products, many of which are powering solutions, has been rebranded as Core SWX. So I think the one thing that we're really confused about is their old URL didn't point to the new URL. That was kind of weird. But you can see here, this is actually a new HyperCore, still called HyperCore. It's Core SWX. You can go to coreswx.com. They'll still do RMAs, everything else. But this basically is their V-mount lock solution for the FS7. And then I have the HyperCore. I ran this thing all day long. I was powering the 502 SMALLHD and also the camera system. And also, because I'm using this particular adapter here for my audio, phantom power, and I still had 3.5 hours left on the battery at the end of the day. Ridiculous. Awesome. Just what I like. So this is it. I mean, this is the rig that I use. I did use an EASYRIG because this sucker gets heavy, and John has had some experience with that. And it does save your back, let me tell you. You might look ridiculous, but it does save your back. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a little more time with John, with the people at Zeiss, maybe find something else here at the show that I want to show you as well. So signing off for now. All right, so walking around PhotoPlus Expo, and it's actually something I want to show you guys that I saw yesterday that got me pretty excited. It's not lighting, it's not a lens, it's not a camera, and it's actually, I walked by a booth and an old friend of mine who used to work for Apple is now with this company. Okay, I found it. They've got the popcorn machine. There he is. That's Mason over there. And I am actually at the Glyph booth. You may or may not have heard of Glyph. I've actually been familiar with their storage solutions for quite some time. And they make great products. But there's some stuff over there, right over there, on that table, somewhere over there, that I am very, very excited about. All that stuff that's over by Mason over there. All right, so while I'm waiting to show you the actual physical drives, they're called Atom SSD, and there they are. They come in 4 colors. That's not the exciting part. They are reversible USB-C, so Gen 2. Transfer rates up to 480 megabytes per second. That is for single drive units and a 3-year hardware warranty. What gets really interesting is when we go around the corner over here and we take a look at some of these larger units here, because if I just show you this, in fact, there it is. That right there can hold 2 individual drives, and they can actually be rated together. That's called Atom RAID SSD. What that means is that you've got 2 drives when these things ship that can be up to 2 terabytes each. Okay, so this is a striped together a 4 terabyte solution in that enclosure. By the way, if you want to know what the material is that they're made from, same exact material as the MacBook series. You RAID those 2 together, and you are going to get transfer speeds of up to 800 megabytes per second. You can edit on that. You can edit UHD on that, and that for me is really, really exciting. If I can have a couple of 4 terabyte drives in my bag that take up that little space, not that much, but that little space, then I'm really, really excited. So when I came by yesterday and I saw Mason and he showed me this stuff, it was probably the most interesting thing I saw at the show yesterday. Though I was shooting for Zeiss yesterday, so I didn't see a lot of stuff. But really, really cool. So let me go ahead and, so you'll see, okay, so now we're taking a look at the Atom and the Atom RAID SSDs. And you'll see them here. And again, same exact material as your MacBooks. Single drive units right here. You know what? I'm being silly. Why am I not using the hand? So I got a single drive unit here. And then we've got these double drive units in all these nifty colors. And these things are built like tanks. And when I can put 2 of these drives in a bag and I can get basically an edit and a backup or data drive that's that small, that fast, I am super, super excited. I'm actually going to go find and talk to you about Atomos a little bit. I love their stuff. Just recently got a Shogun Flame in. But now they have started shipping the Shogun Inferno. And I'm going to take you over here just for a second. So we've got 2 here. We've got the Shogun Flame, that's right there. And then we have the Shogun Inferno. Physically, they look almost identical, except for the Inferno is all black. But under the hood, some differences. The engine in the Inferno on the left is a little bit of a different engine. I think that means it's going to be able to do some different things. One of them that it can do right away is it can do 4K up to 60p, which is great if you're shooting on a camera like the FS7, which actually can do 4K at 60p. And you'll see over here that it also, well, let me just show you over here, more importantly. In the back, it's got quad SDI, and that's going to be great for certain camera solutions that are outputting 4K. And so those are the 2 main differences out of the box between the 2. They're still both HDR monitors. They're still both, obviously, HD and 4K capable. They are both high nit value monitors, 1500 nit, which means basically that you have HDR capabilities, not standard dynamic range. So when you are working with newer digital cinema cameras that have many more stops, you'll be able to see a lot more of those stops. All of them, no, but a lot more than you were able to before. Similar UI if you're used to using any of the previous versions of Atomos' products. I'm pretty excited about the Shogun Flame. I actually just got one in recently, and I think this and also the Inferno are really good matches for a camera like the FS5, where you really need to bypass the internal codec when you're shooting 4K and get that basically raw update so you can record a much, much better quality signal from the camera systems. So there you go, Atomos, and I'm going to see if I can find one more thing to talk about here at PhotoPlus Expo, so let's go. Okay, so I found the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and it is over in this direction. I'm not going to call it proof of concept. It's a lot more than that, but one of the things that I'm looking at as an educator and somebody who does production is what the whole deal is with VR. I think that, to me, 3D was not exciting to me. But virtual reality, I think, is. Is it going to be as big as 2D? I don't know, but I do know that there's going to be some really interesting applications for virtual reality. And I'm not talking about the gaming engine side of it, I'm really talking about the actual video side of it. So this company is called HumanEyes. The name of the product is Vuze, and the first time I actually saw it was on News Shooter. And I was really interested because it is a video-only solution, at least out of the gate. It has 8 cameras on it, which is not something you see on products that are going to be in this price point, which should be under $1,000. And if you pre-order it, you're going to get the smartphone headset, you're going to get this stand, there's software, there's an app. There's a lot that comes with it. I think that for me, the big thing is that out of the gate, this thing is 30p. So what I need to figure out is, do I really need 24 for VR? And sometimes I think I might want to mix 2D and then dip to black and then say, okay, go ahead and put on your headset and I'm going to show you some virtual reality content. So it's really kind of going to be interesting to see where all of this stuff goes. But this is the first camera and company that I've seen a product at a price point that starts to get me excited about this. You know, there's some other stuff on the market, the Theta cameras and some of the stuff that Kodak is doing and, well, Nikon really, that seems interesting. But this is this 8 camera system, and what's really cool about it is that you can set it up as just sort of a standard VR, or you can set up a stereoscopic VR with all 8 camera feeds. So you get a little bit of that 3D, but in a virtual reality environment. So for me, the challenge is going to be how to light for this stuff using practicals, and that's the area I'm going into. I'm hopefully going to be speaking with this gentleman here, Jeff Miller from Vuze, or from HumanEyes, and about the Vuze product soon, so that I can start to get that into some of my classes and workshops. I think that for me personally, those are the things that are exciting to me at this year's PhotoPlus Expo. I have not gone through every aisle, but that's the stuff that caught my eye. And that's another episode of Random Access.